Hi guys, my name is Naushad and welcome to the Learn MVC. So, in the previous video, we had done how to do the IUD operation, insert, update, delete operation in ASP.NET MVC with using ADA.NET Entity Framework, right? So, in this lecture, we see how to do the operation insert, update, and delete with using AJAX, and in AJAX we are using JQuery and JSON. So in a simple way, let's do the practical and understand how to do that operation with using the AJAX actually. So just go to the file, click on new project, my project name is CRUD operation AJAX using jQuery and JSON. Click on OK. MVC change authentication. Now I don't require any authentication. Just click on OK. Sorry. Cancel this auto generated template. Now I'm just going to delete all auto generated codes here. Just delete. Just go to content, delete all file. Also font, I didn't record font also. In the scripts folder, you can remove that all scripts because we will do the operation from the scratch. That's it. View. Okay. Now I'm just going to the CRUD operation. Just right click on the application and just go to the manage nugget package, and you can install three things. One is Bootstrap, the second is jQuery, and third is Entity Framework. So first I am going to install Entity Framework. Now the second, let's install the Bootstrap, and third, let's install the jQuery. Now just close your dialogs and just see here script, Bootstrap content, and if you want to see Entity Framework library, you can see in a reference, right? Okay, that is done. That's good. Now after that, I'm just going to create a model, and before the creating model, I'm just going to the view and server explorer. Now I bind my data, SQL Server data dot SQL Express. This is my server name. SQL Server authentication. Database name. Paste connection. Success. Okay. Now you can see here in table, I have one table customer and the another table is employee. So let's do the IUD operation for employee table. So I'm just going to the model, create an entity class here. The name of class is employee. And here need to create a property for the all columns, right? So I already have a code for the property to solve this code. Paste. for the saving the time. Just paste. So you can see here, right? To save, close. Now I'm just going to the my application and right click on the projects and add one folder for the entity framework. Whatever you want to take your name for the Dell namespace, right? For our projects I am taking an EF entity framework. Just right click on the folder, right click on the folder and add a class, and my class name is Dell data access layer, right? Okay. So in my previous video I have already explained you how to use entity framework in ASP.NET MVC. If you are new to entity framework, so my suggestion is please go and see my previous video. But now I have already code, so I copy paste the code for the saving of time. Just copy and paste here, and the one other things inherit with the DB context class, and need to enter this one. Okay. So I'm using employee class in the data access layer class, so I need to add a reference here using CRUD operations models. That's it. Done. Now close this class also. Okay. Now I'll right click on the controller and add new controller. The name of controller is employee. Okay, this is done. Now this is my index action result. I'm just right click on the index action results, click on add view, and I don't want to use layout page, and just click on add. Now it's done. Okay. Now I need to use a JQuery and Bootstrap for the designing and do the operation IOD. So I'm just going to the content and add a Bootstrap library here. And another file is bootstrap.min.css. And also I need to add a jQuery library and JavaScript library for the Bootstrap. Just go to the script folder and add JavaScript library here. First you can add a jQuery library, after that add a Bootstrap JavaScript library. That's it. Just save. It's done. This is my div. I'm just putting a style and padding. I'm using padding 40 pixels. That's it. Just save. Now I have a designing code, so I just copy paste. Now I'll explain you how to use that. Okay. So you can see here I have created one panel, and inside the panel I am taking a heading. My heading is employee details, and just close the heading and create another div for the body, and inside the body I have one table. You can see here, right? This is a table. Table ID is table employee, and I just pass the Bootstrap classes for the designing, and inside the table I have 4 heading: employee name, employee address, employee salary, and operation. Save and just build the applications. Now build success and just click on run the application, and let's see the output. Employee index. Right, this is our output. Okay, that's good. After that you can see here I need to display a data. I need to display a data with asynchronous method. Now in our previous video, what we are doing in my previous video, we are creating one view model class, and inside the view model class we have created one list object, and we are fetching a data from the data access layer class and pass to the view model class. And we are doing here, we are looping a for each condition and pass one by one row and designing one by one row, right? But now we are using a JQuery, and we are trying to load a data with lazy loading, right? So I'm just going to the employee controller class here and create another action here, public JSON result get employee details, that's it. And just create a data access layer class here, data access layer dev, and for the using data access layer you need to be the add a reference using CRUD operations entity framework, that's it. And also you can use a list of employee, and for the using employee you need to add a reference using CRUD.models, right? That's it. List of employee, initialize the list of objects. Okay, now list of employee is equal to data access layer object dot employees dot to list. So I just store all my employee data in the list of employee objects, that's it. Now return JSON, just a JSON, and pass the object of the list of employee, and request JSON request behavior allow get. Just save. Now I'm going to the index.cshtml and I'm creating here script tag, type tags javascripts, and here you can see $.get. I'm using get function, so for calling a action of get employee details. Which action? Get employee details. So in the employee controller my action name is get employee details, comma I don't need any pass any status, so null, and I'm passing a function name here bind data, that's it. Okay, so I'm creating function here, the name of bind data, and when we call a get employee action, that time get employee details return a employee collection in a JSON format, employee collection in a JSON format, so that all collection will be filled in the parameter of bind data. So I can pass a parameter employees, so my all data is filled in the employees parameter. Okay, that's it. Now I'm creating a variable, and the table name, variable name is table name, and my table name is hash. Just go to the table ID, copy the table ID and paste here table ID. Okay, that's it. Now I'm using for condition because I have a collection of employees into my employees objects. So variable I starting from 0, I less than employees dot length I plus plus, right? Okay, after that I have a code to add a row one by one row, so I'm just going and copy paste, so it's very easy to understand and saving the time also. You can see here I declare one variable table data and table row, starting table row and table data. You can see here employees, I'm passing employees, and I fetch a one by one row, right, and show or data in a table row one by one. You can see it. Okay, that's it. After that, here you can see my table name is this one, right? So table name dot append a row table data, right? And here you can see just run the application. Let's see first what is the output is there. Now you can see here design is appear, right, but it's take a time to load a data because it's processing, fetching a data and all of things. Additional informations, create data with permission denied of masters. Okay, we'll check where is the problem is there. I think I forgot to add a web connection string in a web configuration file. That's why it's given the error actually. So let's check where is the error is there. Yes, I didn't add a connection string here, so add a connection strings. Name, and you can pass a name, the same name of my Dell class. Okay, the provided name you can use same as you are using in ASP.NET web form. And the connection string, I'm just go to the properties and just copy the connection string and paste it. The password. Okay, that's it. Just save and run the application, and let's see where is the employee index. The design appear, right? It's take a time to load a data. You can see after a few seconds it's load a data, right, with using AJAX through a JQuery and JSON. So here it's take a time to load and suddenly it's load a data, so it's for the end user is very confusing, data is there or not. So for that, here in the table you can see here I'm passing a div id status, load status. Okay, so I'm just stop the application and I copy the load status here, and I'm just going to the bind data function, and not the bind data actually. Okay, dollar you can pass here hash load status dot write some text here HTML, and passing employee data is loading right there. Loading. Yes sir, that's it. And I need to enter this one outside here, and once loading is done, just copy that one and here just pass as a blank. That's it. Run. Now you can look at here, see it's loading. Once loading is done, right? Okay, that's good. Now after the my main div, I'm creating button here, button, and type is button, type plus btn primary, that's it. The button name is add new employee, right? So save and run the application again, and let's see button is there or not. You can see here I have created one button here, add new employee, right? When I click on add new employee, that time I need to the pop up one form and add the details of the employee name, employee address, employee salary, and just when I click on save button, that time pop-up is going to the disable and add a row after the my end row, of the collections. So for that I'm using a bootstrap model. So just look at here, I am adding a bootstrap model because I have already code for the designing. So I just copy paste, copy the code and paste here. You can see my model employee, the name of the model, id of the employee, id of the model, sorry. You can see here I'm using a class model fat, a role as a dialog. After that I'm using a header. You can see here in the main content, and inside the header there is a title is there. If you want to add new employee details, I am passing a title for the heading, right? And here you can see you have created on close button, and when you call the data dismiss attribute there, and you can pass the model, the data automatically pop-up automatically going to be closed when I click on close button. Okay, and main content is here, my model content. If you want to create form inside this, you can create a form. Okay, that's it. After that I'm just going to downsides and create a one function, name of create employee. Okay, inside the create employee hash, I don't want to pass the title inside the HTML code. I want to add a title with using a JavaScript code, right? So the div id is model title. So I'm here, id is model title dot html, and you can pass here add new employee details. That's it. And I need to display also pop-up when I click on button. That time I need to call a create employee method, and when I call a create employee function, that time they call a model pop-up. So for that I'm just going to the add a model id here. So my model id is my model employee, right? Now just copy my model employee here and paste hash my model employee dot call the model, just it. And the last thing is I'm just going to the button, this one, right? And add here data target hash model name, my model name. That's it. Just save and run the application. And I forgot to call the create employee method on click event. So here on click, and the function name is create employee and pass it, right? Okay. It is loading, right? It is loaded. Now click on add new employee. You can see the pop-up the dialog is pop up, right? And the title is add new employee. Here is cancel button, just click on cancel button, they will go into the course. Now I'm creating here one action, public partial view result, and the name of the action is create. For that I need to create one partial view for the create employee. So I'm just add a create as a partial view. You can see here create as a partial view, click on add. So I added already partial view, sorry, I need to change the name of partial view here. Create, that's it. Okay, the partial view name is create. So for the designing I have already code, so I copy paste the code here and I'll explain you. You can see I have created one form inside the field set, listen, employee details, passing employee details if you want to pass. If you don't want to pass, you cannot want to pass. Employee name, I create employee name, the text box here. For the employee address I enter one input type text here. For the employee salary I input type number here, and one button. Button name is between submit, class between primary, save, and on click event I just remove now. I don't want this. Finish. This is my create.cshtml. If you want to see this at home, so you can see, you can run the application. Let's see. Where is the error? Where is the error? Okay. Return partial view and just pass the view name, partial view name. So my partial view name is create, right? That's it. If you want to check, just run the application and call the action create. Employee and call a create. You can see this is our form, right? But CSS is not applying because we are not passing a reference of the CSS on the partial view. Okay, so now I'm going to the index.cshtml page, and the downside here I'm declare one variable. The variable name is div is equal to dollar hash, and I need to load a partial view in the model. So I'm just going to the model, and this is my main content div. I'm copy the ID of main content div, and just create div dot, I call the load method, and I need to load employee slash create partial view. So I need to load create partial view, right? Okay, just put the semicolon. That's it. Just save and run the application. Let's see. Data is loading. Data is loaded. Just click on add new employee. Now you can see here my partial view is loaded in the model, right? This is my model, this is my partial view. So my partial view is loaded in the my model. So you can see how it's easy to use a model and how it's easy to create a partial view also. So, and how it's also easy to call AJAX using jQuery and JSON, right? Till now we didn't using any JSON, but for the insert in data we are using a JSON, right? JSON serializations. So I hope you are enjoying this video, and our pending part insert, update and delete we'll do in our next video. Thank you for the watching this video.